Juke to the left, they dodging it. Can't play the role, you fraudulent. Waiting on the right for the stars in it. 4x4 double parking it. Wanna play like cars in it. Wear the right flag, they forfeiting it. Now I got a ring too gorgeous. Damn, I gotta treat it like forges. It sound like I don't wanna scratch it. Try to take the ring, I'ma tackle you. I guess I'm a Super Bowl bachelor. Go hard in the gym, no cameras. I think I see blood, no Dracula. I'm an animal, eating up amateurs. Too active, y'all can't handle it. No taxing, we'll dismantle it. Shake up the building and ramble it. Whip it, shut up the critics and analysts. Come through dripping, I'ma set it off. Game after game, you can bet it off. Quarterback got range if you block them all. Quarterback did an option and set it off. Duck goose linebacker coming through. Yeah, hit him with his man or the Jew. Yeah, we gon' blow your block like a new. Yeah, and I spend a dime every two. We gon' lock down on the offense. Bust down the skeleton fossil. I'm not addressing the problem. Julio on the post, you can't stop him. Pick it up, running back, it's no problem. I'm running behind the block, they gon' block him. Quavo Yoda on offset, you block him. Watch the blitz on the left, we gon' block him. We some animal, yeah, we some gobbler. Man to man, we gon' cover you properly. Man to man, you can't beat me impossibly. Red zone, this my highlight, my property. Do a quarterback sneakers on 4th and 3. Get the ends on the offensive block for me. I stiff them down, get off of me. I'm trucking them over.
An NFC South battle right off the bat. It's the coach. This is week 1 of the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, the Saints were this close to an NFC Championship appearance a year ago. How will they respond this year as they get an early test at home against the visiting Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I'll be back at halftime with a look around the early games. Let's get you over to New Orleans. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. The setting in this dome just serves to amplify the excitement of the folks in New Orleans as their Saints burst from the tunnel a moment ago. They're set, and we're set as well as the Saints get ready to do battle with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Saints team as they enter play, and I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They pass the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
No more training camp, no more exhibitions. The 2018 NFL season on EA Sports is underway. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. We're going to look at a man in his 4th season already at the controls of the Bucs offense. From Florida State, it's Jameis Winston.
And there's little looking for a big-time bounce-back season.
And they'll go on the ground. Some fancy footwork, but not much room to operate. Just up past the 25 and no further. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. And we get a glance now at the Buccaneer offense.
And my eyes immediately go to Mike Evans. 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons to begin his career. His numbers may have dropped a little bit in 2017, but he commands respect from every defense with his height and his ability to run downfield and make a big catch.
2nd down, Winston. There's the Penn State man. It's Chris Godwin. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. An early test. 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. Now it's a bootleg with Winston. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves to James. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. And here now, New Orleans defensive unit.
And the Saints got everything they want out of Marshawn Lattimore and more his rookie season. Yes, the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. But here's the best part. Didn't give up a single touchdown pass all season and made it very difficult for people to complete a pass in his area.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Jameis again. He sets to fire deep. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Williams. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. And this doesn't end well at all as they stop him far behind the line to gain. A surprising move here on the opening drive of the game, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Well, that, my friend, I guess is the definition of a head-scratcher. 4th and long, this stage of the game. What were they doing?
I just have to believe that he looked at the situation, still in the first half, decided if there was a time to be aggressive, now was it, because there's still time to make up for it if things don't go right. Of course, a lot of questions on this one, and look, I want to go for it as much as anyone.
But 4th and long?
Yeah, I don't think I would have there. That one seemed a little bit on the irrational side.
Fans might be a little angry at that one. Now a 2nd down throw for Winston. It's caught by Mike Evans. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. And that's the first connection, the number 1 overall pick in 2015, finding the number 7 pick in 2014 in Evans.
And what a great target Mike Evans is for Jameis Winston. Winston's a pretty accurate thrower, but that catch radius that Evans provides, that makes him that much more dangerous.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw is probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Pass incomplete. The tight end Cameron Brate was the target. 3rd down here. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position, you have to be. You just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball. It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the turn.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
We focus our attention here on the Saints offense as they come out. And last year, they were coming into 2007 and 9 seasons. Well, they got it turned around. Won the NFC South at 11-5. Won a wild card game, and then we all know the story. Heartbreak in Minneapolis.
But it's one that won't break this team, I don't believe. I think it's actually something that they can use as fodder for the season, as something to build upon. And when you think of New Orleans, you naturally think of offense. You think of Drew Brees. You think of Alvin Kamara last year as a rookie, making the big plays. Mark Ingram running the football, throwing it to Mike Thomas out wide. But the key to this team continuing to get better remains on defense. And I think it was shown in the draft when they made the big move and drafted Marcus Davenport out of UTSA to rush the passer. They know they've got to win their division, which means slowing down some high-powered offenses in Tampa Bay, Carolina, and Atlanta.
And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12.
Let's go! Red 38!
The broken tackle couldn't create a ton of space. He'll be taken down just beyond the 35-yard line. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down. He's got the 1st down and more past midfield. And finally down at the 36-yard line. A very solid gain of 27.
This is one of those plays that could go either way, but we've seen the influence of the college game now in the NFL, where we're seeing more and more of these plays run, and that one went for a big gain.
So 1 quarter in the books on NFL kickoff weekend. 3-0 is our score. We'll head back to New Orleans after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Saints football to begin quarter number 2. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down. He'll get the 1st down and more inside the 20. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Rashawn Perriman, 33 yards. And the Saints are able to cash in for 6. Certainly there are good things about quick strike offenses that score fast, but a long drive can also work to your advantage as well.
In so many ways, Brandon, because number one, you get them tired, but the big one is mentally. They can't figure out how to slow you down, how to get off the field, how to get the ball back. They go to the bench wondering, what are we going to do next time in order to stop those guys?
So that drive takes them down the field in 8 plays. And a pretty good run there in the end to top it off. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Well, these Buccaneers coming off a 4-game drop-off from a year ago, 9-7 in Dirk Cutter's first season to 5-11 last year. It's now 10 straight seasons without a playoff appearance, and in fact, they have not won a playoff game, Charles, since winning Super Bowl 37.
And in order for them to get back to the playoffs, they've got to go through their division, which is awfully tough and high-powered on offense. Atlanta, New Orleans, Carolina. So the Buccaneers made the investment. Jason Pierre-Paul from the Giants on the defensive side of the ball. Also picked up Bo Allen and Vinny Curry from the Philadelphia Eagles. So the defensive front taken care of. They also picked up Vita Vea, a massive defensive tackle from Washington in the first round of the draft. Then they picked up a couple of corners. They know that on the defensive side of the ball, that's where they have to make their biggest gain to chase down their division rivals.
He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. On 1st and 10, Winston. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and you can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A good pickup there, a 22.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get-off on the snap, jump too quickly.
And they'll go ground game here to the tailback. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Call it a gain of a couple there as it'll leave him with a 2nd and just 3.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Now Jameis on 2nd down. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eli Apple. And he'll be brought down at his own 10-yard line.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty. Whoosh.
A 2nd spin. Still fighting. And all the way down to the 7-yard line. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 83 yards. So he nearly took it the distance, gets him down inside the 10 for a 1st and goal.
I'd love to be in his head right now, because is he rewarding himself for a great run, or is he kicking himself because he didn't get all the way to the goal line?
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. A reminder coming up at the half, we hook up with a new guy, Jonathan Coachman from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis, and more importantly this year, scores and stats from around the league here in week 1. So do not press that skip button. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. On second down, here's Breeze. That's complete right around the 8. And here he'll get it down to the 7. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal. Breeze now on 3rd and goal. And that is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And Lutz's kick is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So not sure how they feel about that. They had golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery, but they went backward and then got 3.
Well, let's go from gold to silver, because the silver lining is they got the 3, right? You were talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. That has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always. Jameis Winston and company heading back onto the field now. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Evans has it left side. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. First down, Winston. Buying time to his left. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. He is tough to bring down, Jameis Winston. Charles, I remember calling a baseball game of his. He played baseball at Florida State, too. And you saw his legs, tree trunks sprayed in to those baseball pants. I said, how can anybody bring this guy down?
And that's part of the beauty of his game, because he has that toughness, that thick body. He may not beat you sprinting, but he's real sharp with his mind, and he knows how to get away from people.
Let's go now.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Ready. Blue lady.
Jameis now on first down. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. A gain of 6 there on first.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The Bucs on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Again, it's Winston. Airing this one out for Evans. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Eli Apple. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
the 34. A big play there just before halftime. 46 yards. So they dig a little deeper in the playbook there. Get the wide receiver the ball, running it, and it proves fruitful.
Love the call. When you've got a guy who has running back skills, you want him to touch the ball as well, not just out wide where you throw it to him. Make sure you hand it to him or toss it to him and let him go to work.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Able to fight through one tackle. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. And Lutz puts this one through. So we've reached... All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the third. Unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
Get him, boy! Get him, boy!
Look at this spin.
Balance.
And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Taken down inside the 30. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. And a cut to the right. Touchdown, New Orleans. Rashad Perriman, already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead. Always important to get the first score in the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the...
28. There to stop him was Carlton Davis. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he's finally down at the 21-yard line. It's a big play there for the Saints. 51 yards on the ground. And with that carry, he has done it. He breaks the single-game rushing record.
How about doing it in the spotlight of our game? How wonderful is that to see all those yards accumulated, culminating in a brand new NFL record.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. And that's going to leave him with just 1 timeout remaining still in the third quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him. We'll be back. I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. It goes as a loss of 6. And now third down. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Rashawn Perriman with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Saints add on to their lead.
I think all teams probably like seeing that schedule for the first time, looking at Week 1. Oh, good, we're at home. This is why you want to be home in Week 1. They're looking sharp.
And I agree with you totally. That's what you want. But there carries a little extra pressure with that as well, because you and I both know protecting the home field, winning your home games is paramount in this league. So you go into it, yeah, we want it, but now you actually have to go out and prove it.
Yeah, 2 sides to that coin, and looking like they're going to protect it here in this one. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And quickly they get to the line. And an alley to run. And down inside the 15 he goes. They give him 17 yards that time, as that'll move the chains. Tackled down at the 1. 12 more yards there and another first down. 3 red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. And they'll get him down just shy of the goal line at about the 1. Call it a gain of 2 as they're knocking on the door now. 3rd and goal. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Now, this feels like old-school football, because this has turned into a good old-fashioned goal line stand. So on offense, what do you do now? Do you decide to run it or throw it if you go for it on 4th down?
They come up in a 2 tight end look here. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. Colby Listenby taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead.
I know a lot of people look at these games and think, all right, this thing's done. Let's have some sportsmanship. Let's not try and score. You should never do that in the NFL. I've seen big leads blown and teams that look like they had a victory, all of a sudden.
Get him down as he's inside the 40. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. That one goes for 36 yards.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss, but with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
They come up in a 2 tight end look here. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Colby Listenby. His 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the forced fumble defensively leads to 6 points for the Saints. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I'll guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners
who
had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff. I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
A first down throw for Winston. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Pass interference. Defense.
So the game will continue for at least one more play.
Could not finish a game on a defensive penalty. That's why they get one more untimed attempt.
Ready. Black 22.
One last shot now for Winston. And this is going to be caught. So it affects the final score, not the outcome, but it is a late touchdown here on the game's final play. Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week one. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day.